Last episode, I left you with a question. How do you make an app intelligent without ever touching their backend? Without opening a single file in the Spring Boot or without even changing any line of data in their database? But before I give you the name, let me introduce you to someone, Mr. Kluckenstein. This is our scenario-based LLM agent. And his superpower? MCP, Model Context Protocol. It's what gives Clucky actual hands inside your system. The ability to create tasks, list them, complete them, not just ask about it, actually do it. Without MCP, Clucky is just very confident chicken with no arms at all. Model Context Protocol is not a framework, it's not a library, it's a standard way or a rule for the LLM to discover and call the tools that live inside a real system. Let me show you this with a real example. Imagine you have an ordering system where a user places an order. Your backend does a lot of work. It checks if the product has enough stock. It holds that quantity so nobody else grabs it. It charges the credit card. If payment fails, it releases the hold and aborts the operations. If the payment succeeds, it confirms the order, deducts the stock, and sends the confirmation to the customer. That logic is yours. It's tested, running in production. Your money depends on it working correctly. You're not at all going to touch that. But you still want Clucky to be able to place an order when a user asks it to. So what do? You take that endpoint, which is Post API orders, and you give it a name called place orders. The name becomes the tool. And that is the tool which my guy, Mr. Clucky, is going to use. You register that tool inside the MCP server, name it, describe it, what it does in English. Tell it what parameters it needs. The product ID, quantity, the payment token, all those stuff. The MCP server is now holding the tool ready to be used, waiting for someone to call it. Now pass this MCP server to Clucky. Clucky reads the tool list. It knows exactly there is a tool called place orders. It creates an order in the system. It needs a product ID, a quantity. Clucky didn't write that logic. It doesn't know what happens inside. It just knows the tool exists and what it's for. And here's the beautiful part. Tomorrow, your backend team adds a new endpoint, get orders API. Then to fetch that is to fetch the orders by ID. You want Clucky to use it? Simple. Don't touch the backend. Don't touch the database. You just add one new tool to the MCP server. That is get order. That's it. Clucky now has the new superpower. And your production server never even knew anything has changed. Or it doesn't even know that the order or the placement of the order or the listing of the order is coming from an intelligent agent or an intelligent chicken. So for our task manager app, this is what MCP server actually holds. 3 tools. Add task creates a new task. Get task hits get endpoint and returns the full list. Complete task hits a patch API that makes the task set as complete or mark it as done. 3 tools, 3 endpoints. The backend you already saw in the episode 1, Untouched. Same controller, same database, right? Clucky just gets the key to the front door. So this is the architecture. This is what you're going to build when you add intelligence to an existing app. The front end stays, the backend stays, database stays. You insert MCP and the LLM between the user and the system. The question is, what happens when a user actually says something? User says, create a task by grocery. The sentence goes to Clucky. Clucky doesn't see a function call. Clucky sees and reads a sentence from the user. Natural language processing, intent parsing, and it understands what the user actually wants. To record something. decision, to record something. Intent is the input and decision is the output of that intent. And who makes this decision? Is Mr. Clucky, our intelligent agent. So it's like the GPT or the Claude, okay? And the decision is the add task. Tool selected. And the post API is fired up and the row is routed to the database. From plain English to a database write in under a second. Now, user says something different. Make an appointment for the practice. Completely different words. No mention of task, no mention of create. But the same results. Add task is selected. Same endpoint is called and database write is made up. Was that our intention? Yes, exactly. It was our intention. How, if the word doesn't match, does Clucky still know to call the add task? Because Clucky doesn't match keywords. It reads descriptions. When you register add task, you give it a description in plain English, which is called just create a task for the user request. Clucky was trained on billions of human sentences. It knows that make an appointment or jot it down or remind me or I need to remember this all carry the same human intent, which is record something for later. It compares the meaning of what you said, that is the human language, to the meaning of every tool descriptions. Best match wins. That's not the keyword matching. That's semantic understanding. And that's why your tool descriptions matters much more than your tool name. So this is the complete picture. User speaks. Clucky understands the intent, not the words. MCP matches it to the right tool. Tool calls the endpoint. Backend runs the logic. Database saves the results. Your backend never changed. It never knew it was talking to an AI. It just saw an API call exactly like every other API call it has ever handled. Let me show you what it actually looks like in the code. This is the MCP server. 3 tools, each one a function. Add task is a function. Takes the title, description, and it calls this endpoint. It returns the result. That's it. 20 lines of code. And Clucky now has the ability to create a task in your system. It has the control on your system. Same pattern for the get task, same for the complete task. Function name, description, parameters, API call, and response. Done. And this is the config that tells GitHub Copilot, here is your MCP server and here are the tools available for you. So I used GitHub Copilot instead of Clucky. So GitHub Copilot has to know where is MCP server or the tool that it can use. I just configured that as an mcp.json. And that's the whole connection. All right, let's see it live. Everything you saw that built this system, the MCP server, the API, the Angular UI, started as a prompt. Next episode, I will show you exactly what I typed, how I iterated, and how you can do the same thing. Because the real skill is not writing code anymore. It's over. It's the ability to ask the right question.